Lyriq is the most important vehicle Cadillac has launched in a generation. I cover everything. Let's get to it. Cadillac's been around for 120 years and has invented dozens of technologies like the shatterproof glass windshield and synchromesh gearbox. Now it's reinventing itself. Cue the Lyriq, the first word in Cadillac's rebirth. Going forward, it's developing only electric vehicles, no more new ICE cars. The move is intended to attract attention from buyers that have shunned GM's luxury division.
Being on this platform, it really opened up the possibilities for us to do things we hadn't done before.
This is a deep dive from the press launch in Park City, Utah, where I had access to engineers and designers that worked closely together. For example,
we developed this black crystal shield. It's essentially a piece of black polycarbonate that we paint black on the backside, and then it gets laid into a laser ablation bed where a laser comes in and ablates away the black paint to reveal whatever pattern we want to do.
The cars we're driving are the first production Lyriqs off the line from Spring Hill, Tennessee, numbers 4 through 27 to be specific. Full disclosure, I own a Cadillac, an electrified Cadillac, the plug-in hybrid ELR. That's not to say I'm a fanboy of the brand. In fact, I'm on record being very frustrated with General Motors. It hasn't let Cadillac be Cadillac, standard of the world stuff, for years now. The needle began moving towards luxury with the current generation Escalade. Lyriq continues the trend. The cabin brings much of the Slade's bling with far less cash outlay. This loaded rear drive model in satin steel metallic over sky cool gray is aggressively priced at $60,000, thousands less than a base Model Y, even adjusting for all-wheel drive. A quick primer before driving impressions. Rear-drive Lyriqs make 340 horsepower and 325 pounds of instant torque to move a 5,600-pound vehicle. One-pedal driving is a thing. It can be adjusted to be very aggressive. Plus, GM has rethought the regen paddle. The harder it's squeezed, the more recuperation drag.
Depending on how firmly you pull on that paddle will change your decel rate. So you have choice now in how you want to stop the vehicle. You can either use the traditional approach of a brake pedal, you can use a one-pedal drive, or you can use the Regen on-demand paddle on the steering wheel, or you can combine all of them together because, again, we merge our friction braking and our regenerative braking together.
I'm paired with Henry Payne, automotive columnist with the Detroit News. You're getting two opinions out of one review. You own a Tesla Model 3. How does Regen stack up with this?
Lyriq gives you more options. So the Tesla Model 3, you're either on regen or you're off regen. Lyriq gives you three options. You can be off, then it gives you on, and then it has an extreme high setting. And then even within those settings, it gives you a further option with a paddle on the left steering wheel so that you can brake it even further like that.
Yeah, wow. And you're not touching the brake pedal?
Not at all. This is all one pedal driving.
It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Brake pedal feel when feathering from recuperation to using the physical binders is seamless. The Cadillac of dynamics, as it were. Same goes for cabin noise, or lack of it. Very, very little wind noise.
Right.
Exceptionally quiet car.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no A-pillar noise. Yeah, it's very quiet in here.
Yeah. Without engines, most EVs have cabin performance tones created by sound engineers. Okay, let's concentrate on the sounds. What mode are you in?
We're in tour mode.
Okay, peg it.
Hit it. There you go, 80 miles an hour.
Nothing. All right, go to sport.
Sport mode, peg it. Yeah, it's there.
It's
still
there.
Pretty quiet.
I doubt that the mics are picking that sound up. It's very subtle. Cadillac is perfectly suited for EV powertrains. Arguably, it, not Chevy, should have gotten them first. The latest version of Super Cruise, in my opinion, the best semi-autonomous driving system for highway use, is on Lyriq, just not activated. Owners will get it as an over-the-air update. Let's get back to how Lyriq is engineered. This chassis cutaway is of an all-wheel drive model that will be available first quarter of 2023. Lyriq's development was accelerated by 9 months, so the front motor unit wasn't quite ready at launch. This is the second GM EV to use the new Ultium Battery technology, the first being GMC Hummer EV that Lyriq shares its rear-drive motor with. Lyriq's pack has 102 kilowatts of energy.
Nickel metal cobalt aluminum cathode with an artificial graphite anode. The battery pack itself, to hold all of these 288 cells, is a mixed steel technology that was specifically designed to handle the tough work of crash, where you need the stiff, hard steel. And then on the lateral beams here, we also have some good steel in there to take the load and transfer it and have that very solid feel, so you feel very connected to the vehicle at all times.
It uses an encrypted wireless battery management system that shaves 30 pounds off the pack and simplifies production. It collects reams of data to assist technicians working on the car, plus helps recyclers repurpose the modules properly. Lyriq's range is EPA rated at 312 miles. Cold weather normally reduces efficiency. Engineers used a trick to improve it.
It's called the actual energy recovery system, because energy isn't just electric. There's also thermal energy. And so we have a heat pump on this thing that can take that thermal energy and convert it to passenger comfort. And if you actually look at what happens with this, in a cooler climate, the battery is fully charged, but you can actually get more energy into that battery with heat without affecting life. You can warm that battery up a couple 8 degrees C, so you don't get the reduction in range in the wintertime.
Lyriq's max charge rate is 190 kilowatts, or 76 miles of range in 10 minutes at the right DC fast charger. Now, that's not as fast as Porsche Taycan, Hyundai Ioniq 5, or Kia EV6. Obviously, charging speed depends on a lot of things: the station's kilowatt rating, the level of charge the battery begins at, and ambient temperature. Set a destination in the Navi and the system will locate stations along the way, optimize the route for best charging strategy, and precondition itself before arriving to juice up. Pause the video to view charging estimates. Keep in mind that some 85% of charging is done at home, and most commercial fast charging terminals that I encounter max out at 150 kilowatts. Lyriq comes with a standard charge cord that's switchable from 120 to 240, and Cadillac throws in $1,500 for owners to install level 2 charging. If you already have it, opt for 2 years of unlimited charging through EVgo, and Cadillac stresses no 30-minute restrictions. Lyriq fires up in the traditional way. I'll cover the bespoke 33-inch display in detail later. Too bad drivers don't see the grille animation. Let me show it to you at night, where it's easier to see. And it's not just the front. People in the rear get some entertainment as well. Overall, it's definitely a crowd pleaser. There is no traditional transmission, just step-down gearing. This selector feels lovely, by the way. Driving modes that don't change when cycling the ignition include a setting to personalize a number of dynamics like throttle response and steering weight. The suspension is 5-link, front and rear. Dampers are not adaptive. Firmness can't be changed. This is where one-pedal drive aggressiveness is adjusted. All right, what do you think? Frunk or no frunk? No frunk. The only thing owners will fill here is the washer fluid. Engineers say it was an easy call to package components in the nose, leaving the floor flat and open. A large purse or backpack stash is here. The rear-drive Lyriq is quick enough. 0 to 60 in just under 7 seconds. The all-wheel drive version is coming. It's more powerful. The rear-drive version, it's got decent scoot.
Yeah, it goes pretty good.
Yeah. There's a lot of benefits to EVs, like the instant torque and all, but we always forget to talk about altitude. A regularly aspirated ICE engine loses a lot of power. Park City is what, 7,000 feet?
Yeah, we're up here in ski country.
Yeah, we are not losing any power here whatsoever. You even lose a little power with a turbocharged engine. Nothing here.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to take this baby to Pikes Peak, Tom. Set a new hill climb record up there.
I'm sure Cadillac would love for us to do that. Let's set navigation. We had limited time and traveled over 150 miles, never came close to needing a charge, and no time to check real-world charging speed.
This was charged at 80%, and there's really no way that we can determine range. But General Motors is pretty good about being honest. This is rated at what, 314?
312, yeah, we charged it to 288, 80%.
It appears to be right on target.
The drive route Cadillac mapped out took us on some pretty interesting roads.
We've been chucking this around in curves. For a big crossover, it handles pretty well.
It does, and it is big. I mean, this I'm 6'5" guy, got a lot of room in the back seat.
Yeah.
It's got a 100 kilowatt hour battery underneath this here with the Ultium platform. So this is not a small car, but has very good pickup.
The hefty floor-mounted pack drops the center of gravity, weight distribution is near 50-50. The low rolling resistance tires have better grip than expected. This is a balanced chassis, comfortable with a sporty edge, but no Blackwing. Pushed hard into tight turns, and those 5,600 pounds make themselves known. Understeer says, hello there, approaching the limit. The cabin is quite different from Cadillacs of the past, with a hint of mid-century modern. There are knurled details throughout the space. All of the controls and switches are bespoke to Cadillac, feeling noticeably solid and rich. The center console is cantilevered out. Because an open lid looks dorky, designers didn't cover the cup holders. It's adjustable in case you like handles on your coffee mug. At the Tech Talk, designers shared this slide of a 1967 DeVille instrument panel, and there's a slight similarity, even though they claim it wasn't intentional. I've complained that many recent Cadillac cabins look like slightly nicer Buicks. These are luxury-grade materials. Substantial door releases feel like they were snatched from a 60s Caddy. No cheap plastics down below either. It's all good stuff. Maybe the design team has compromising photos of the GM accountants, huh? Prince would love this touch. There's a good amount of stitching. One thing Henry and I disagree on is the soft, matte-finished instrument panel that the driver doesn't really see.
Then there's no stitching. It's some interesting budget choices here.
It's kind of a European look.
Yeah,
it's kind of an Audi look to me.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know. This is like $30,000. There's a $35,000 SUV right here. You know, that kind of rubbery.
I don't know. These days, hard plastic is in a $30,000 car.
I'll take this opportunity to point out that there's some reflection off the metallic surfaces that look like real aluminum. Ashwood trim is laser cut with a metallic backing and backlit with LEDs. The hues are adjustable. There are 2 zones. It looks good in person. My camera's low light performance is pretty average. The heated and vented chairs are right up there with Volvo when it comes to comfort and support. These could easily be the tiebreaker if deciding between a Genesis GV60 or Audi e-tron SUV. The powerful 19-speaker AKG surround system has sound that's as pleasing as the speaker grills. In a car this quiet, it can be appreciated fully. Let's spend some time on the interface with Sandy Lipscomb. It runs on the Android Automotive platform. The graphics are from Unreal Engine. Displaying over 1 billion colors, in some way the curved screen is better than the one found in Escalade.
So this isn't just 2 12-inch screens stuck together to look like one.
No, it's one big 33-inch diagonal screen. So that means if we start to put graphics like theming on this screen, it's going to go from end to end.
Walk me through the user interface.
Sure. Well, first of all, there's 3 areas of this screen. We've introduced this left-hand, what we're calling Zone 1 screen that allows you to control some of the content on the cluster. We're really focused on making this vehicle feel like it's yours. So the content that you can control here is, first of all, put it in a gauge view. You can put it in an energy view, which shows you your output as well as your kilowatts per hour, and you've got your map view. We're working with Google Automotive Services. I'll touch on that a little bit more later. And then we have Clean View, which just decontents that cluster so you can really have this sort of Zen-like experience. The center part is focused on all of the things that you know and love about a cluster, and you control those by the steering wheel. So you're going to go through this button here to get to your radio favorites, and you can click through and select, you know, a different station. You can also have some shortcuts here to audio, phone, as well as your voice enablement, which is both Google Automotive Services and Alexa. But you don't need this voice button in order to elicit Google. You can just say, "Hey Google, take me to Starbucks."
Oh, you knew I'm from Seattle.
Everybody loves Starbucks, so
True.
there you go. So it brings up the content, just, yes, please navigate. So it brings up the content that you would normally think.
Pendry 0 miles away. Want to navigate there?
Yes.
Sure. Turn north. Pendry 0 miles away.
Great, so now it puts you in
Your
route.
destination is on the right.
It must be right here.
Yeah.
So we're really close by.
It's right there.
It's right there.
It's easy to navigate, has good touch response, and gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Like all of them, some controls are buried in the menu, like if you want to open the glove box. That's here. A physical latch may not look premium, but this lacks the luxury of simplicity.
A quick look at the back seat. I have the driver's chair adjusted for me, a 5'9" guy. And I have to say, there's a lot of room in the Lyriq. Head, knee, leg, and foot room, all very generous. Cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent. Door openings, those are standard sized. Door pockets on the small side. Evil Twin would love the fact that there are pockets on both seats. A little storage shelf, adjustable vents, but no separate climate zone back here. No heated seats either. Not all EVs have perfectly flat floors. Lyriq does. That means footroom is great for all 3 passengers back here, and 3 adults can travel at least short distances pretty comfortably here. Lyriq's back seat is pretty good.
Design. For starters, the production version is very close to the concept. While shooting these static shots, the half-dozen wealthy folks staying in the Park City area that chatted me up were unanimous in complimenting the look, plus knew exactly what this car was, which is rare for a vehicle that isn't even out. These are production vehicles, and the build quality was excellent. I think you know what I mean by that. Lyriq has a strong, confident look in person with more subtle contouring than photographs show. Lots of fine details that come close to looking busy, but never cross the line. An EV6 drove by. I found the Cadillac to be the clear looker with a more planted silhouette, and I like the EV6. There are no traditional door handles. Looks as if the team liked what Ford did with the Mach-E, since there's this little winglet for the front doors and a grippy material inside the back ones for hands to get a little traction. Either way, you'll need to explain this to newcomers. And it's all kind of slow.
Another thing for us as a design team, every designer that sketched a Cadillac, lights were always vertical. Even the high-low beams, we always wanted it. In fact, most designers, as we sketched, we'd only sketch the DRL. We wouldn't sketch any of the rest of it because all we wanted is just a beautiful vertical signature on the corner of the car. And we were able to do that this time. And with really working closely with engineering and pushing ourselves again out of our comfort zone, DRL's vertical, all the high-low beams are vertical with the slimline modules. The full glass roof was a big deal, again, keeping the profile low. There's a fixed and an opening version of that. Aerodynamics was a big deal. We had to work closely with our partners, and one of the things you'll notice is that spoiler in the back is a flow-through spoiler. It speeds the air up down the backlight so that we didn't need a rear wiper.
I've heard that before, and it doesn't really work. I'll believe it after a rainy Seattle day, said Doubting Thomas.
No, the TP trunk test is not happening because I have no idea where the closest Costco is. Besides, I'm running around like a caffeinated squirrel just trying to show you the basics of the Lyriq.
There's no spare. At least there's room for the security shade and standard charge cord. Offhand, I didn't see any bag hooks or those elastic bands that Mercedes and BMWs often use to keep things from rolling around. It is nicely trimmed here. For scale, here's my camera bag. That's about 3/4 the size of a carry-on suitcase and a fairly good-sized backpack. In total, this is 28 cubic feet, which should take 6, probably even 7 packs of the 2-ply. Remote releases are a welcome touch. Would be even happier with 40-20-40 split seats. The floor is nearly flat, and this is some 61 cubic feet to fill. A big space. All right, let's sum this up with red light, green light. Green light. It's a luxury EV that's priced close to models from mainstream brands. The roomy cabin with its excellent user interface is very well trimmed, the way a Cadillac should be. The comfortable, controlled, quiet driving dynamics are exactly what you would expect from a premium brand. And Lyriq's design is distinctive. The neighbors are going to ask for the light show, guaranteed. Yellow lights? This well-crafted car has some sniggly annoyances like reflection off the metallic trim and those exterior door handles. A top charge rate of 190 kilowatts lacks bragging rights for speed when traveling. The 33-inch screen is a crowd pleaser. Some features can be a layer too deep in the menu. And library quiet? Some will want more character from the performance tones. Red light. It's missing some luxury touches like heated seats and climate zone in back. Those that want the traction and power of all-wheel drive will have to wait. And along that line, unless you've reserved already, good luck finding one. 2023 models are sold out. It's going to be a wait for the 2024s. While GM is coy with figures, it claims Lyriq's first online sales sessions sold out in minutes, the second one in hours. The executives on hand seemed genuinely jazzed that a significant number of these buyers are the highly coveted Gen X and Y, many in coastal states like California that have shunned Cadillac in the past. Most are new to the mark.
All right, summing this up, what I'm really surprised about is the pricing. This is only what, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 more than EV6 and Ioniq 5.
Yeah, it was a $60,000 car on the nose.
And I kind of feel like this is worth much, much more than those. This is more comfortable. It feels like it's bigger. It's got better materials. It's got similar range. And it's got all the light graphics, which to me shows that the Cadillac folks were really sweating the details.
Yeah, and you see it. I mean, there are parts to this that are a little cheap. I mean, you don't get your typical cut and sew Cadillac on the dash here, but you do get this lovely curved screen, which would come right out of a Porsche Taycan.
Yeah.
So there's enough here in terms of jewelry that it's definitely a luxury vehicle.
Lyriq can't be had for a song, there's too many production constraints for now, but those in line with deposits will find that it's aggressively priced, plus, wonder of wonders, drives and feels, well, like a Cadillac should. A few things before I go. The Cadillac folks commissioned a light show complete with original music. It was so impressive, everyone there insisted that they run it again. This gives you one more look at the animation in front and back. It's stuff like this that suggests the team made a huge effort to create a distinctive car. A Cadillac, not a gussied up Chevy. More like this, GM. And speaking of, you may have heard Caddy's next EV dropping in early 2023 is the Celestiq, a hand-built machine that the General claims will rival Rolls-Royce Ghost. That seems ambitious. And shortly after that, a third unnamed, undescribed vehicle. My money is on a sports car. Wishful thinking on my part, I guess.
Special thanks to Henry Payne, who's put up with me. Want to plug your podcast?
Yeah, thanks very much, Tom. I'm auto columnist for the Detroit News, do a live radio show for 9:10 a.m. car radio, and that goes to podcast nationwide every week.
Back to the front end, while there's no frunk, pry this off, and there is some space under here, enough to store the supplied charge cord. And about my Cadillac, the ELR, best described as a beautiful failure, I'm famously not brand loyal. I bought it because I got a screaming deal. It's been flawless over 7 years. I just replaced the 12-volt battery. Thanks for joining me in Park City, Utah for this first look at the Cadillac Lyriq. I'll leave you with this Cadillac fun fact. It is the first manufacturer to give us electric start and electric headlamps. So, in a way, electrification, it's in Cadillac's bones. Well, thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to this channel, click notifications. You're still here at the end, so I'm assuming I'm mildly entertaining. Follow me on Twitter. You can ask me a question there or leave one in the comments. I'm pretty good about getting back to people. All right, that's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.